Do you guys remember Mind Sex? We don't gotta take our clothes off yet. We could burn an incense. We now have music that says booty hole brown. I digress. Listen, the reason why I'm bringing up those songs is because remember the 90s when deep was a word? Who's deep these days? What makes you go, that's what this video is all about. Of course, naturally, I'm listening to KRS One, and KRS One is slowly bringing me into the temple of hip hop. I can't say I watch it every Sunday like it's service, but I definitely clue in. And I can't believe how in season what KRS One has to say is perfect for the timing that I'm in my journey. I'm feeling a little down and out. I'm feeling a little je ne sais quoi, I don't know, a little limited belief system. I don't like the way my thinking is. I really feel like I could think, if somebody says, what's your biggest dream? I struggle to answer what that is. I don't like that. The old me used to be like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. And I feel like I'm a little downtrodden. So this video is for you. KRS One hits the nail on the head. I am searching for this kind of content. I'm actively looking for, how you say en français, positivity. I'm looking for positivity meshed with God. This channel will always forever talk about God, and I'm constantly on my spiritual journey. Now, think back to the law of attraction. The law of attraction was definitely a panel and an explosion of different kinds of teachers and gurus and blah, 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 telling you can have the things of your mind, you can manifest, and et cetera, et cetera. And then it died down. So for me in my house, because life is lifing, because prices are pricing, that's not a real word, because life is a little bit hoard. I even struggle to say that because I still do believe words have power. I do believe life and death is in the power of the tongue. And I don't want to say life is hard, but it is what it is. Let's keep it a buck. I'm out here working hoard. So anyways, I'm like, okay, well, where are those people now? Where are the law of attraction people nowadays? And how can I build back up my confidence, erase some of this limiting belief, and really believe like, you know what, you got this, keep pushing, instead of being downtrodden, if you will. And I was a little bit disappointed. It's not that they're not out here. They're still doing their deeds. They're still out here talking about manifestation. They're still out here as motivational speakers, but it's giving heard it all before, all of your lies. It's giving heard it all before. I don't know, it's just not resonating with me, and I don't like that. So I'm actively, and you'll see this in this channel, I am going to actively look for people that speak to me in my house at this time, in this season of my life. And KRS One happens to be one. I did not grow on hip hop heavily, like, oh my God, let me follow the whole journey of KRS One. I know of his songs, but I'm now in my adult life just appreciating all the things that he has to say. And the tempo of hip hop is fascinating. It's fascinating. Every time I watch an episode, there's hogwash at the beginning. I don't know what it is. I'm like, I'm not gonna like it. I'm about to click off. And then I don't know. It's like he opens up the book, and it's just like, bleh. He just, and for lack of words, vomits out, or you know what? He spits hot fire, Dylon. Like, it's just absolutely amazing how he's. And it's just because, I'm telling you, sometimes people are in your life for a season. It could be just a day, could be an hour, could be a week, could be a lifetime. And I just feel like right now, KRS One is just hitting the nail on the head. So at the beginning of this video, I'm going to put the video that we're about to watch together in the description box, because just before the part that I'm about to show you, he's talking about forgiveness. What was that? What are you doing? Who's your marketing team? Are you even reaching the youth? Are you trying to get new audience members? What about the people that don't know you? What are you doing? What are you doing, sir? It was so good. He was talking about forgiveness. Okay, well, scratch that. We're not going to talk about that. He had the nerve to throw in there talking about altars. Let me circumvent or circumcise. That's from Unliving Color. You don't know? Get a grip. Anyways, so what he did was he was talking about altars. But let me pause for the cause and talk about one of my previous videos. I was just talking on my videos about manifestation. I'm resurrecting that word into my life. Believing again. Believing. Is the word miracles for real still? Or is that of the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, not the 2000s? So I'm trying to believe again. I'm feeling a little downtrodden. Oh, I make it seem good. But is it? So behind the smile, do I got it all together? So as I'm trying to fill and surround myself with positive words and looking at motivational speakers, this guy starts talking about altars. I'm thinking about my previous video where I was talking about vision boards and manifestation, etc., etc. And he pieced it together so good that we're going to watch it together, because it's one thing to have things on your wall. I'm trying to get positivity on my walls to believe again. And he throws in an alley-oop. And he starts talking about altars. Now, let me pause for the cause. We are going to get to the video. Just hold tight. I went to a friend's house the other day, and I thought it was fascinating that they had a little prayer corner. You ever go to somebody's house and you want to ask questions, but you're not boss and you don't want to really be in people's business, and you know it's not the right thing to do to be asking, what's this? What's this? What's this? It's not your house. How about that? How about have some manners and hold your tongue? So I'm like peeping the corner, and I'm just like, what is this? This is fascinating. And they're not of our skin tone. So I'm like, what is this? And I really want to ask. Well, anyways, I mean, it wasn't hard to say, but I never thought that Catholics do this. So it was like a little corner of like a bunch of Mother Marys, the rosaries, a petite Bible, and some angels. And I'm like, wow, you know, I really wanted to ask questions, but I knew it was their sacred corner. Now, somebody, you know, when you think of the word altars, you think of voodoo and you think of blood, and I don't know what you think. Whatever you tell me what you think of altars. But when I think of altars, what's the difference between an altar, a shrine, a prayer corner, a prayer closet? Like, what is the difference between all of these things? KRS One just throws away all of that and just helps you to forget about what it means and all the different terms that are out there. It's what you do at the altar, and do you even have one? Oh my God, this is so good. This is so good. So now I gotta do vision boards, but now I gotta do altars, a shrine, a prayer corner, a place where me and God can convene. First of all, I don't even want to pray no more. I'm a little downtrodden. I'm making it seem like it's a joke, but really, honestly, it's just kind of bothering me right now. It's like a thing we're going through. So if you're going through this too, please leave a comment down below. Motivate me. Tell me what you're going through. Are you feeling this way? But you got to watch KRS One first, and then you got to communicate. You feel me? So let's watch this together, and like, let's really, really enjoy and really listen to what he's saying. He just vomits out all this stuff. He just spits hot fire. Darling, what are you doing? Anyways, let's watch it together.
Very moment, think about a space close to where you sleep, where you can set up an area to pray and study. It could be a space on the floor, a table, a shelf, or a window. It could be as small as a shoebox in a corner, or as large as the entire bedroom. In any event, at your beginning, the space you set aside to pray and study should be near to where you sleep if possible. After you've designated a space, choose a surface, a table, a shelf, a box, a crate, etc., to place in your sacred space. Such a surface is commonly called an altar. It is the physical place you go to alter your awareness from natural to divine. It is the place where you talk in the presence of God. It is in this place that you affirm your past, present, and future victories. See, this is the real right here. Build an altar unto your own God, a place, a sacred place, where you say, this is the place I meet God, right here. This is the place that I meet my ancestors. And look at this. You have to do this for yourself, because if you did it, then God is meeting you right there. Why? Because you said, like forget for a minute the supernatural, the supernatural or the religious part of this or the symbolic part of it. Go to the psychological part of it. The psychological part, okay? If you take the time to build a space for God, ancestors, spiritual awareness, you're telling your own brain that this is what's possible here. People don't use these techniques because they don't even think they can. But that's what a teacher is for, to point it out. No, you can do this. You can do this. You know, I don't want to bring it down to just money or just, getting stuff. But it's a regular practice within my house that when we have big undertakings to take on, some of us, whether it be the grandmothers, Simone, children, whoever, sometimes myself, we create wish boards, altars. I'm thinking now because I made an altar, and I had a small I had a little version of my RV. I have a Sprinter van RV, and I had a little version of it, and I put it, on a map and said, I'm going to do this kind of tour and all this kind of stuff. And it's all psychological, but neurologists, psychologists, they'll tell you, when you affirm something in your own mind, it's your own mind that makes it real. And so think about this. Most people say, I ain't going to do that, man, because it's all in my own mind. What? If you knew you could get $1 million right now, but you have to believe it first, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you, if somebody said, yo, you can have anything you want, any material thing you want, but first you have to train yourself to believe it. You have to do something to yourself that's going to manifest this. Why wouldn't you do it? Well, it has to do with the character of a person. I ain't doing that. That's wishful thinking. Oh, that's some old crazy. Oh, that's some supernatural thing. I don't want to blah, blah, blah. Okay. But if there are those of us that have concrete evidence that you can do this, why not try? What do you have to lose? I mean, think about that. What do you have to lose by psyching your own psychology out to give you what you want? What? I mean, when I first started, I said I want to be the greatest rapper of all time. Most rappers, most those that are serious, start out with that conviction. I'm going to change the game. I'm going to be the greatest. That's healthy. That's a healthy MC attitude. And a lot of MCs entered the game with that. I was one of them. I'm going to be the greatest MC ever. And I'm sitting in a shelter with no way whatsoever to become that. I had to believe myself into KRS One. I had to. There was no choice. See, the problem with most people is that they eat every day. They have a warm bed to go to. Some of us are even having our bills paid for by others. Some of us get clothes. Somebody else buying your clothes, somebody else feeding you. Others of us are comfortable with the situation we've made for ourselves. So this is what it is. So we say, we don't want, but where I come from, it was do or die, sink or sail. Do something for yourself or get ran over. That's where I come from. So we had to use our mind. We had to conjure up in our own minds our own survival. School was telling us we was nothing. Religion was like you're a sinner and a devil. Redlined everywhere. You can't buy no house, can't get no decent housing, nothing. I mean, just run down the list. It was all corrupt. The last thing we had was our own belief in ourselves. So we started to say, look, what's your name? My name is Larry. Larry Parker. That's my name. That dude stayed broke and impoverished until Larry Parker said, no, my name is Knowledge Reigns Supreme over nearly everyone. What's your name? My name is DJ Scott LaRock. Oh, word? Now we nobodies are somebodies now, just by changing our name. The name then had to be lived up to. I'm Knowledge Reigning Supreme because I like knowledge. I like study. I'm an educator. So I'm Knowledge Reigning Supreme. I have to live up to this title. So I'm writing rhymes that teach people while I'm writing. It's called edutainment. Do your thing, I'm living up to my own name, living up to my name, living up to my nature, living up to my character in my culture created KRS One. And this goes for everybody. Living up to their name in this culture created whoever they are. Now, if you would live up to your own name in this culture, you'll become whoever you envision yourself to be. But if you don't believe for yourself in your own name, how can it even happen? Like, you don't believe in your own name. If you don't believe in your own name, how can you ever manifest anything? That's the point. So here we read, okay? And this has to do with setting up an altar. That's what we're actually talking about. Setting up an altar. But an altar has to do not so much with the altar, it has to do with what you believe about yourself. The person who sets up an altar believes that an altar is what they need right now. And if you believe that an altar is what you need right now, then the altar is going to alter your needs. The altar is going to move you in such a way that you're going to fulfill your own needs. It's going to remind you and place you in psychological ways. It's going to put your mind in a condition for it to achieve your goal. This is how important an altar is, or a wish board, or any kind of area and a table or something that you say, my divinity meets me right here. Let's go forward. After you've designated a space, choose a surface, a table, a shelf, a box, a crate, etc., to place in your sacred space. Such a surface is commonly called an altar. It is the physical place you go to alter your awareness from natural to divine. It is the place where you talk in the presence of God. It is in this place that you affirm your past, present, and future victories. Here you can cover your designated surface with a new and clean cloth. Then place upon your covered surface a candle or candles, your favorite oils, sprays, waters, incense, pictures of those you truly love and or admire, and this gospel of hip hop open to either the freestyles or your favorite overstanding. After you have done this, thank God for your sacred space, and then repeat your affirmation 3 times and go to sleep in faith, in peace. Cleanse your environment with the establishment of your sacred space, and let not your sacred space be violated. Here's the key piece. Believe in your spiritual reality, and it shall become real in your life. See, most people want their spirituality to be real in other people's lives, and they miss out. Spirituality is only about you. It's a personal journey. So if you can't bring your psychology to believe in your own spirituality, then you don't have a spiritual life. And again, this is not about some childish, I'm going to make something up. I'm going to just dream. I'm just going to dream. That's not what this is. This is a serious psychological exercise that reveals to you new dimensions, other directions that you could really use, like in the material world. You could really use it. Those were the four, A, B, C, D. These were four preparations we just read. Let us continue. At an average rap music concert, there is usually an opening act or acts followed by a headliner. Now, this is symbolic. Look at this. Attuned hip-hoppers and experienced rap fans alike have learned that great opening acts that have been successful have always shouted praise to the headliner and have always sought to align their performance to that of the headliners. The opening act performs with an understanding that the headliner is sure to follow with an even more elaborate performance. It is the headliner who closes the show. Similarly, attuned hip-hoppers know that God is the true headliner in every arena of life. Even if the hip-hopper is a headliner in the world, the attuned hip-hopper remains an opening act to God. As an opening act, the attuned hip-hopper performs live in spirit, knowing that God will close the show. Whatever the attuned hip-hopper does, it is done with the understanding that God will complete whatever has started. When this truth is realized, one's actions will reflect such a realization. How often do we forget that the hip-hop lived life is a performance, and that imitating the performance of God sets one apart from the world and its troubles? Attuned hip-hoppers live life as a great performance. When we are at work, we are performing. When we are with family, we are performing. Every day and at every moment of the day, we are performing. Even while asleep, there are a variety of performances taking place within one's mind, body, and environment. It is our performances in life that manifest or form the circumstances of our lives. Each performance is literally a pre-formed dance or pre-formed acts. An action that creates form, an action that creates and forms circumstances. Therefore, attuned hip-hoppers align their performances to God's performance, remaining protected, prosperous, and at peace, in harmony with the will of God in their lives continuously. For when God's personality is a habit in your life, victory over the streets is inevitable and constant. And when God is enough for you, peace shall always be with you. This performance ensures one's longevity as an MC, DJ, graffiti writer, etc. Rap fans are trapped in the law of lyrical freestyling, while attuned hip-hoppers enjoy a life that is free. Rap fans focus upon the sales and the performances of the marketplace, while attuned hip-hoppers focus upon the performance of their God and receive all things freely. Oh Lord, are we not living that right now? To perform correctly is to live and act totally aware of your life and actions. The arena is your environment. The stage represents your level of mentality, and the audience is the world. The show is an act of one or more divine performances. Therefore, give a good show. As we perform throughout life, we should be drawing the applause of God. Hip-hoppers are advised to perform the following. And it goes in now into the 18 divine performances. And I urge you guys to read that. This concludes the lesson that we had in store for you today.
For a second. Let me just say this. You may not be a rapper. Neither am I. What I will say is, when we go out into the world, as for me in my house, I got a 9 to 5. We are constantly performing in front of our friends and family and our co-workers, strangers on the street, when we're grocery shopping, when we're at the store, when we're traveling. We're constantly the main character of our lives. And the reason why it resonated with me is because even though I'm not a rapper, I am still performing. But at the end of the day, what is my conversation with God? What is my belief system? How am I shaping my character? Do I even believe? You let me know, how did you feel about what he had to say? Are you taking it in? Are you listening as if he's speaking about somebody else? Or are you going to create your own altar? Do you have a prayer corner? Do you have a space, a sacred space, even in your bedroom, where you could be like, yo, this is what I'm going through. How am I going to get through this? Like on a real, you know what I mean? I think this world is too busy trying to dissect who is God, what is the name of God, and we're deteriorating the idea of there's something greater than us, and we need to believe that. We need to believe that. Another thing that what I got from what he was saying is, I've spent so much time in the presence of so many people in my world of the past and the present, probably in the future, where I'm constantly speaking words of affirmation. Things that they cannot believe, I will say to them to make them believe it, because I believe it for them. What I think is disappointing, which is what he's pretty much saying, is I don't believe it for myself. So where is my own spirituality? I have the spirituality for them. I believe in the unseen for them. I plant seeds of affirmation and confirmation in them, but I don't believe it for myself. And I think that sucks. So anyways, talk to me. Tell me how you feel. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. We got more coming.